That music that you just listened to, that's my music. If you want to get it, go to www.getreal.org and take a look at it and order it online. Also, one more thing, I want you to know something about how important you are. Hold on. Hold on, I'm going to have to give you a call right back. All right. By the way, if any of you have your cell phones on, please turn them down. Hey kids, it's Jacob Tobar. No, do you seriously think that we would put you in front of a video like that today? You've got to be kidding me. But seriously, I want you to think about something for a second. When is the last time that you felt amazing? I mean, seriously, when's the last time you really felt amazing? What was going on? What was around you? Who was around you? And what were you thinking? There was a time in my life when I didn't know what to do. All these things were happening around me and I felt like I was just stuck. The whole world was just caving in on me and I didn't know who to talk to. It was almost like the only conversations I had was me and that voice inside my head. I came to realize that as I talked to other people about what I was going through, that I wasn't alone. Sometimes it's just a friend. Sometimes it's just a parent or a grandparent or a foster parent, a counselor, a teacher. You see, when we see a counselor, we see that individual for the title that they have, a counselor. And if I'm seen in the counselor's office, then I probably need help. But why does it have to be like that? See, the counselor is a normal person just like you and me. And so is your friends, and so is your parents, your foster parents, your grandparents. And so are the teachers, the principals, the janitor. We're all human beings. Human beings that not only understand what you're going through, but most of them can actually relate to what you're going through. So reaching out and talking to somebody is not something you have to hide anymore. Because if it wasn't for me asking for help from somebody I knew and those I didn't know, then I don't know where I would be right now. See, sometimes that voice inside your head is telling you something that you can't control. Sometimes it's telling you something that you don't believe. It tries to do all these hurtful things to you. It tries to convince you of something that you know is not true. Let's say that little thing is called depression. See, depression is not something that's just a rare thing. Believe it or not, there's more people suffering from depression than people that are suffering from starvation. Believe it or not, there's over 350 million people that suffer from depression on our earth. Depression is not something that we're going to fight alone. We're going to fight this thing so hard. And believe it or not, your generation right now, the people that you're around, the people in your school, we're going to be the very generation that stops the stigma once and for all. It ends now. We know that it's not going to happen overnight, but I can tell you this. Let's change the world together. So imagine this. I'm sitting right where you're sitting. In fact, I'm you for a day. I get up in the morning, I get dressed, I'm on my way to school, and right when I get to school, I have these expectations that I'm going to learn something today. I'm going to feel good about what's going on. All of a sudden, someone comes around, they look at me up and down, and they say, "You are ugly." What do you think's going through my mind? I don't understand. Sometimes when I feel really good, it's almost like someone or something comes across and just takes that feeling away from me. Have you ever felt that way? Doesn't feel good, does it? We want to keep those amazing feelings within you, and we want you to know that you are amazing and that you have what it takes to not only keep that amazing feeling going, but help other people keep that amazing feeling going. We're not here to hurt anybody. In fact, we're all on this beautiful planet together. And as we make our school a better place to come to, it not only makes our school a better place, but we make the world a better place. And that's what Get Real is about. Getting ridiculously excited about life and sharing that excitement with our classes, with our schools, our communities, and not only that, but our entire state and country. See, sometimes life isn't fair. And yeah, there's going to be some things that happen. Maybe I don't get the brand new phone that just came out, or I didn't get the new video game, or I have to ride the bus, or I have to walk on the weekends, and it's not my fault I have to go to summer school. It's not fair that we feel that way, is it? How do we really deserve to feel? You see, if we want to feel amazing, then we have to help other people feel amazing. If we want to feel amazing, we have to radiate this amazingness. It's not something that you can just dream about. It's something that you can have right now. I'm sure we've all heard the thing, oh, you are who your friends are, and if you got to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Well, that's never been more important than right now, because there's so much going on. There's this, there's that, there's phones, there's the internet. Oh my gosh, there's a new app coming out every day. Right when I get the new app, there's a newer app, and this thing, that. Oh my gosh. You see, we don't ever really think about how much money that our parents are spending, or how much money we're really asking for when we're asking for these crazy things. Right now, we're starting to discover that money is actually something that takes a little work. You know, it's not something that we're born with. I don't have this giant big pile of money when I'm born. Money is earned. And respect is also earned. If you want to be respected, believe it or not, we have to respect other people. And that includes everyone you come in contact with. Whether it's the janitor in the school, or it's a teacher, or it's a counselor, or it's the principal. What if you became the most ridiculously excited person in the school right now? What would that person look like? Not only that, but what would that life feel like? What would it feel like to be excited about life? You see, some of you are looking around right now like, oh man, this guy. But seriously, I truly believe that each and every single one of you, not only do you have what it takes, but I believe you've always had what it takes together. If you think about everything we're doing right now, we're surrounded by people. We're always going to be surrounded by people and living things. How we treat those living things, how we treat those people makes an ultimate difference in our own lives. If we hurt things all day, then guess what? We may start to feel hurt. It's something that we give out. If we give it out, it may come back to us. So just like a boomerang, you throw the boomerang and it comes right back. We want to be very careful with the type of words we use, and we want to be very careful with the type of actions we take. The individuals that are raising us right now at home, whether it's a parent, our grandparent, foster parent, care parent, the homeless shelter, it doesn't matter. Each and every single one of those places deserves your respect. And you deserve to be respected. And although in some cases we can't control our environments, I'm here to tell you right now that it's not about your environment. It's not about the situation you're in that's going to help you feel better. It's the actions you take right now. And I want each and every single one of you to take an action to make your life better this moment by believing that, you know what? I am amazing. When somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, how's it going? You say, what? I'm amazing, but I'm getting better. Throw them off a little bit. See, those things right there are what I call interruptions. We interrupt somebody else's thinking right now. If you think about it, if you look around right now and you clap your hands right now, it throws everybody off. That's an interruption. See, some of us do interruptions for attention because I don't get enough attention at home. That's not fair, is it? But it's not fair for me to take that lack of attention from home and take it away from other people and cause distractions and interruptions that are only going to take away those good feelings from anybody else. It goes back into the little thing we just talked about, and that's respect. When I was your age, I used to get picked on. I'm going to be real. I used to get picked on all of the time. It was the way I walked, the shoes I wore, the way that I talked, the way that I acted. Every single thing seemed to bother someone around me. And in reality, it wasn't really bothering them as much as it was bothering me. You see, I was picked on from a really young age. And I don't know about anybody else in here, but if you're getting picked on right now, I want you to listen really closely. You see, bullies, they want to do something. They want to take that amazing feeling away from you. And that's what happens, is they're jealous. They're jealous of what you have, they're jealous of who you are, and they're jealous of what you're doing. And although sometimes we say, you know what, it's because they're jealous, they're bullies, why not include somebody? You see, bullies feel like they're left out, and that's why they have to attack you. They have to come at you because really all they want to do is be accepted. And there's individuals right here in this very room that want to be accepted. But instead of putting our eyes on them and our ideas of, ooh, that guy's picking on me or that girl won't stop messing with me, here's what you do. When somebody starts coming at you and they try to hurt you with their words, or they try to push you, or they try to hurt you, you know all you do? Tell them, thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Hey, you know what? Your shoes are ugly. Thank you. Hey, man, that stuff right there is messed up, man. Yo, thank you. See, we can literally eliminate these harsh feelings with positive compliments. You see, right now, while you're sitting in this room, in this air-conditioned environment, this time years ago, I was sleeping in tunnels, underneath bridges, anything I could just to stay alive. See, we try not to think about what other people are going through. We just want to focus and think about ourselves. From the outside, it looked like I had everything. I had the newest games, I had a nice car, I had nice clothes, but I had a bad attitude. And that bad attitude took me into a dark, dark place. Because after those things expired and they weren't making me happy anymore, this dark cloud came into my life. Not only did this dark cloud come into my life, but it took over my life. I sunk. It felt as if the entire world was against me. Here I was, this young kid, wanting $1 million. I had that mindset that I was going to be rich, and I was going to be famous, and I wanted a Lamborghini, and I wanted this nice $400,000 watch. I've been there. I've seen the magazine ads. I've seen the commercials on TV. I've seen those type of things. They're there to try to make you happy by buying what they're selling you. Are we going to spend our life living the way that we want to? Or are we going to spend our life buying somebody else's crap? It's not fair, is it? Not only did I sink myself into a situation that I didn't deserve, but it truly hit me really hard. And it started to affect every single person that was around me. It was almost as if everybody that came into the room happy, it was my attitude that would try to bring them down. And I don't mean just down like, oh man. It was like every time somebody walked in the room with an attitude every time somebody walked into the room somewhat happy, I did everything I could to put that dark cloud over their head. And it wasn't fair. I reached a point in my life when I woke up and I said, I don't have to keep this dark cloud over me. I don't have to keep this dark cloud over my head. I don't deserve this. So I want to ask you right now, do you deserve the life you're living? Or do you deserve a better life? Do you deserve everything that's coming at you? Do you deserve all of these hurtful situations that are in your life right now? Or do you deserve something that makes you feel better? How do you get there? These are the type of questions I asked myself. I said, if I can feel this lonely, this sad, this depressed, imagine how I could take that feeling and make it a positive one. Because if it's pushing me this far down, imagine that energy pushing me this high up. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about all the individuals in this world that are struggling. I don't mean those you see on TV. I mean those individuals right in the closest city to you that sleep and live out of trash cans and shopping carts. And they have absolutely no food. And they spend their entire life with their hand out, hoping that somebody will have an extra crumb. Somebody will have an extra crust on their bread. That crust that you're throwing away when you cut it off your sandwich, that feeds somebody. Think about that. Think about those little things that we're doing. That food that we leave on the table, that milk that we leave on the counter, That food can feed somebody. So what? You're saying, oh, nobody would eat that. It's already going to be old by the time I get back from school. Yeah, right. There are times when I ate food out of trash cans that was over a week old because I had to survive. And I had to do it because that's what I had to do. See, I don't want you to go through that situation that I went through. In order to get out of that situation, I had to develop a whole new attitude. I had to think about not only about me, but I had to think about the world around me. And I had to think about what type of things could I do to make this a better place. It wasn't going to happen overnight. It wasn't going to happen in a week. So what I stopped doing is I stopped counting the steps it would take. And I just made a decision. I said, if I get out of this situation of being homeless, and I get out of this situation of relying on my parents to buy me all these brand new things all the time, if I get out of this situation of treating everyone like crap, and if I get out of this situation of always getting in this situation, then one day I'm going to be a part of something. I'm going to be a part of something, an organization of something that's going to change the world. And that's exactly why I'm here. Because I know what it feels like to be right where you're at. And I know what it feels like to go through exactly what you're going through. Now, I can't relate to every single thing, but I can tell you this, that if you decide to change the way you think today, then you'll decide, if you decide to change the way you think today, you're changing the way that you'll live tomorrow. What you think that makes you happy right now, these things, these objects, these phones, these cars, these clothes, these things, are they really making you happy? Or are they just temporarily making you happy? Because that temporary feeling, it's gonna go away. And when you don't have those temporary feelings, what's gonna be left is a dark cloud over your head. See, I used to think and feel like I was all alone. My heartbeat, it felt dead. And my mind was as cold as stone. I never felt right at home. I had to step outside the box. See, I grew up thinking life was hard. I didn't understand how money talked. See, trying to fix my past, these myths became my reality. They all want me to grow up, but personally, I love the child in me. See, why do I have to mold myself into someone that I don't like? They want me to be a doctor, but honestly, I love to type. See, I felt as if this purpose in life, it started to drift away. See, I look forward to following my dreams, right? But I felt like I missed that day. They want me here to stay, but I feel like I want so much more. Instead of working on my dreams, they were like, Jacob, go to the store. See, my life, it was either or. It was options without an addition. Stuck and I even lost control like a pilot without his vision. Sidetracked by my own choices. Well, I need to learn stuff. And now the truth is my own reality. Now, it's time that we turn it up. Seriously, you are amazing. But I'm going to tell you something that I wish I knew when I was your age. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. Not every single day is going to be an amazing, great, wonderful day. I get that. You're not alone. What lies ahead, you can't even imagine. But I can tell you this, that it's going to take a strong, positive thinking mindset to get through this thing. I spent a very, very difficult time in my life. I became homeless. When I was going through this homeless stage, I asked myself questions that I'd never asked before. I said, why is this happening to me? What can I do to get out of it? And what will I do if I actually get out? See, how many times we get stuck in a situation that we don't deserve? And I say, you know what, I promise if I get out of this, then I will. But we never follow through, getting into trouble and then, oh, I'm never going to do this again. But weeks later, months later, it happens again. For me, it was the next day and the next day and the next day. And for the longest amount of time, I was making all these promises that I would never keep. And I look back now and I was like, man, I was letting people down. But guess who I was really letting down? I was letting down myself. And I realize now that it isn't fair to me and it's not fair to you to let yourself down. So let's not make promises that we don't plan to keep. Let's keep our word, because at the end of the day, that's what we have. I asked other homeless people, what the heck got you in this situation? And guess what they told me? I always got what I wanted when I grew up. I was like, whoa, we're in the same boat. So it's almost as if the reason why I became homeless is because I didn't know what to do when I didn't have that feeding me. Whether it's new phones every couple months, or new clothes, or always getting what I want, going out whenever I ask, getting yes, 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 yes. I never knew what it felt like to get a no. And it wasn't just one no, it was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 1,000 in a row. Think about what that would be like. Think about right now if you were to ask 10 powerful questions, and every single one of those powerful questions that you ask, getting a yes would ultimately change your life forever, but every single one of those answers is no. Think about that for a second. That's the type of mindset it takes to hope for the best, but plan for the worst, because we don't know what lies ahead. And if we keep imagining that all these amazing things are going to happen, and we plan for these amazing things to happen, then guess what? When life hits a turn, throws a curveball at us, we're going to be stuck like a deer in headlights. We don't want you to be that deer in the headlights. We want you to be the plane in the sky that's got lights and it's got everything it needs to keep flying, including gas and including everything else. You are that airplane. And just like you are that airplane, your life is about to take flight. So I ask you right now, if you've got a cell phone, turn it down or put it into airplane mode, because your life seriously is about to take flight. It's not something that I'm just talking about. It's something that you have to feel. It's not something I can tell you in words. We have to do it in actions. And that's what this day is filled with. Action-packed activities, not only to encourage you to think about things, but to help you shift that mental mindset that it's going to take to get through those difficult times. Here's the truth. Butterflies and unicorns and rainbows is not all life is about. We think that way when we're younger, but now it's a lot different. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage you, because Get Real Life Promotion is exactly what it takes to not only encourage you, to keep you going and to get you ready for the next step, taking your life to the next level. It's simple. It happens when we help other people. When we help other people, we think about ourselves. And not only do we think about ourselves, but we start to fall in love with ourselves. And that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, who else you got? You got to be okay with being alone. Because look at me. I spent months of my life alone. And that time in my life, I would never take back. Because if it wasn't for that time, if it wasn't for those bad things that happened in my life, and if it wasn't for those horrible situations, if it wasn't for me making mistakes, I would have never grown into the person I am today. And I expect you to make mistakes. I expect you to go out there and stop trying to fit in. It's about standing out and reaching up and picking people up with you. Because truly, truly, at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you have to ask yourself a question. Has today been a good day? And how many people did I help today? We want you to think about that every single time you go to sleep. We want you to think about that every single time you wake up. How many people can I help today? Because when you truly start to help other people, and you'll feel it soon, it's something that you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that feeling, because it takes your body and it lifts you up. And that's what life's about. It's about lifting yourself up.